Mandukya Upanishad, the origin of Om. Many of you have heard the word Upanishad and many of you have studied Upanishad. The word Upanishad comes from the word Sad, to sit, to which are added two prefixes, Upa and Ni. The prefix Upa denotes nearness and Ni totality. Thus, this word means sitting nearby devotedly. 10 principal Upanishads known as the Upanishad are Isha, Kena, Katha, Prashna, Munda, Mandukya, Taittiriya, Aitreya, Chandogya and Brihadaranyaka.
The Mandukya Upanishad is the shortest Upanishad consisting of just 12 verses. This Upanishad is associated with the Atharvaveda and is also considered fifth among the canon of the 108 principal Upanishads. The Mandukya Upanishad focuses on elucidating the topic Om or Aum and the three states of waking, dreaming and the deep sleep, as well as discussing what is referred as Turiya, the fourth. Pure consciousness seems to play as waves of beauty, and so does Atman appear to play, as it has four aspects: waking, dreaming, deep sleep and Turiya. This means the fourth. This Upanishad, which is all about Om, only consists 12 verses. It shows us the four apparent states, levels or planes of consciousness in which the Atman seems to play: Vaishvanara or Vishwa, Taijasa, Prajna and Turiya in relation to the Om mantra. It presents all the channels and instruments through which manifestation, Maya, seems to exist and through which Atman seems to experience the apparent manifestation. By contemplating and witnessing these levels, channels and instruments, they are seen as part of the non-self, leading the student to the real self, to Atman. Eventually, the understanding comes that Atman and Brahman are one and the same, which is also called yoga. If one would be able to fully grasp what is offered in this Upanishad, one needs to know no more, because self-realization would have been attained. In the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, Om has been offered as the direct route. Thus, this Upanishad, which is all about Om, is the direct route for self-realization. From the Karika, a commentary
On the Mandukya
by Gaudapada, verse 22 to 25, he who knows for certain the similarity of the three states and the three letters of Om based upon their common features is worshipped and adored by all beings and also is a great sage. Through meditation on A, the seeker attains Vishwa. Through meditation on U, Tejasa, and through meditation on M, Prajna. Meditation on the soundless brings no attainment. Om should be known quarter by quarter. There is no doubt that the quarters are the same as the letters. Having understood Om quarter by quarter, one should not think of anything else. The mind should be concentrated on Om. Om is the fearless Brahman. He who is always absorbed in Om knows no fear whatever.
Let's delve into Mandukya Upanishad if you're ready. Verse 1. All is Om. The whole universe is the syllable Om. Following is the exposition of Om. Everything that was, is or will be, in truth Om. All else which transcends time, space, and causation is also Om. Verse 2. Atman has four aspects. All of this, everywhere, is in truth Brahman, the absolute reality. This very self itself is Atman, is also Brahman, the absolute reality. This Atman or self has four aspects through which it operates. Verse 3. First is waking or gross. The first aspect of Atman is the self in the waking state, Vaishvanara. In this first state, consciousness is turned outwards to the external world. Through its 7 instruments and 19 channels, it experiences the gross object of the phenomenal world. The 7 instruments are the more microcosmic instruments, while the 19 channels relate more to the microcosmic, the individual person. 7 instruments. First, consciousness manifests outwards as elements space, air, fire, water and earth, along with the individuation from the whole and the flow of energy, which we know as the pulsing impulse towards breath. 19 channels. Then the individual operates through the 4 functions of mind, aspects of Antakarna, the inner instrument, which are Manas, Chitta, Ahamkara and Buddhi. These 4 operates through the 5 Vayus, Prana, Apana, Samana, Udana and Vyana. The 5 active senses or Indriyas, Karmendriyas of eliminating, procreating, moving, grasping and speaking, and the 5 cognitive senses, Jnanendriyas of smelling, tasting, seeing, touching and hearing. Verse 4. Second is dreaming or subtle. The second aspect of Atman is the self in the dreaming state, Taijasa. In the second state, consciousness is turned towards the inner world. It also operates through 7 instruments and 19 channels which engage the subtle objects of the mental realm. Verse 5. Third is the deep sleep or causal. The third aspect of Atman is the self operating in the deep sleep state, Prajna. In this third state, there is neither the desire for any gross or subtle object, nor any dream sequences. In deep sleep, all such experiences have receded or merged into the ground of undifferentiated consciousness. Here one is filled with experience of bliss and can also find the way to clearer knowledge of the 2 preceding states. Verse 6. Find the experiencer, the one who experiences all these states of consciousness in the omniscient, indwelling source and director of all. This one is the womb out of which all of the other emerges. All things originate and dissolve back into this source. Verse 7. The fourth aspect is Turiya. The fourth aspect of Atman or self is Turiya, literally the fourth. In this fourth state, consciousness is neither turned outwards nor inwards, nor is it both outwards and inwards. It is beyond both cognition and the absence of cognition. The fourth state of Turiya cannot be experienced through the senses or known by comparison, deductive reasoning or interference. It is indescribable, incomprehensible and unthinkable with the mind. This is the pure consciousness itself. This is the real self. It is within the cessation of all phenomena. It is serene, tranquil, filled with bliss, and is one without second. This is the real of true self that is to be realized. Verse 8. Those four are the same with Om and silence. That Om, though described as having four states, is indivisible. It is pure consciousness itself. That consciousness is Om. The three sounds A, U, and the three letters A, U, M are identical with the three states of waking, dreaming, and sleeping. And these three states are identical with the three sounds and letters. The fourth state, Turiya, is to be realized only in the silence behind or beyond the other three. Verse 9. The sound A is waking or gross. Vaishvanara is the consciousness experienced during the waking state, and it is A, the first letter of Om. The simple sound of A is first and permeates all other sounds. The one who is aware of this first level of reality has fulfillment of all longings and is successful. Verse 10. The sound U is dreaming or subtle. Taijasa is the consciousness experienced during the dreaming state, and is U, the second letter of Om. This intermediate state operates between the waking and sleeping states, reflecting some qualities of the other two. One who knows this subtler state is superior to others. For one who knows this, knowers of Brahman, the absolute reality will be born into his family. Verse 11. The sound N is deep sleep or causal. Prajna is the consciousness experienced during the state of dreamless deep sleep, and is N, the third letter of Om. It contains the other two and is that from which the other two emerge, and into they recede or merge. A knower of this more subtle state can understand all within himself. Verse 12. Silence after A, O, Om is the true self. The fourth aspect is the soundless aspect of Om. It is not utterable and is not comprehended through the senses or by the mind. With the cessation of all phenomena, even of bliss, the soundless aspect becomes known. It is the state of non-dual Advaita reality, one without a second. This fourth state, Turiya, is the real self or true self. One with direct experience of this expands to universal consciousness. Worldly pressures are transient, but the truth of Om is eternal. It expands our individual consciousness to universal consciousness. The Upanishad says the more we meditate and contemplate on Om, the more our spiritual awareness will deepen. But experienced teachers caution us not to use Om alone as a meditative mantra to focus the mind. It is not practical, as it will withdraw our minds from worldly thoughts and we will not be able to fulfill our worldly obligations. Rather, Om is recommended for deep contemplation and meditation for renunciates and advanced students, those who studied the Upanishad in depth and who are ready to turn their minds fully inward. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos.